and welcome to News Plus on Viewer Television. My name is Patient Sidi. Former Chief of Army Staff Chiku Buratai says the victory of President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Elections Petition Court has affirmed the victory of democracy. This was said in a statement made by Buratai, a former Nigerian ambassador to the Republic of Benin in Abuja. He asserts that the court's ruling on Wednesday upholding Tinubu's election victory validates the democracy, victory, and the values of justice and fairness. Buratai congratulated the president on his victory and urged all Nigerians to participate fully in the democracy process. He also emphasized that each person must accept their civic responsibilities and work towards improving the country. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has redirected the processing of passengers through at the new international terminal of the Lagos Airport effective immediately. According to a statement issued by the spokesperson Abdullahi Yakubu Funtua, the expedited relocation to the new international terminal at MIA by FAN was deemed necessary due to the unfortunate fire incident that occurred at International Terminal 1. The latest development is taking place following the fire incident that occurred at the immigration basement at the old terminal. Prior to the fire outbreak, the minister on his maiden tour of the airport had announced that plans to temporarily shut down the old terminal for total overhaul following the near collapse of facilities which passengers had complained. Also, the Taraba State Governor Abu Kefas has inaugurated a committee to streamline ministries, departments, and agencies. The committee was inaugurated at the ESCO Chamber Government House, Jalingo. Now our correspondent, Linda Guana, reports.
While inaugurating the committee, the governor says the committee is comprised of seasoned administrators and their duty is to allocate, reposition, and streamline departments, agencies, and ministries in Taraba State. The state governor, Abu Kefas, noted that the state is on a journey of progress and reforms, hence the need for the committee. Governor Kefas stated that the endeavor is not just an administrative change, but steps to ensure that the government operates efficiently, transparently, and in the best interest of the people of the state.
We're in a journey of progress and reform. I'm honored to inaugurate this committee today to be responsible for the allocation of department, agencies, and boards to the newly streamlined ministries. This endeavor is not just an administrative change, but a crucial step towards ensuring that our government operates efficiently, transparently, and in the best interest of the people of the state.
According to him, the decision to streamline the ministry was driven by a commitment to eliminate redundancy and enhance the ability of the government to deliver essential services to the people of the state. He urged the committee to carry out its duties with utmost professionalism, integrity, and impartiality. Abu Kefas enjoined them to prioritize transparency, equity, fairness, and efficiency, urging them to seek public input and that of the stakeholders and civil society organizations.
The decision to streamline our ministries was driven by a commitment to optimize our resources, eliminate redundancy, and enhance our ability to deliver essential services to the people of Taraba State.
The chairman of the committee, Obadiah Ando, thanked the governor for the confidence reposed in them and gave assurance of effective service delivery. He solicited the support and cooperation of ministries, departments, and agencies to enable them to succeed in the tasks ahead of them.
As a committee, we have accepted this assignment with a solemn vow not with any expectation that it's an easy job. We are going to touch lives. We are going to touch people's ego. We have been talking since the day we were appointed. If we touch your ego, please bear with us. Because it's not an easy job. But we believe that we can do a good job to satisfy Your Excellency.
Linda Gwana, VOA TV News, Jalingo.
Still on Tara State, the Governor Agbu Kefa said his administration has achieved a lot in his first 100 days in office. The governor stated these at the ESCO Chamber Chairman House Jalingo while interacting with journalists as part of the activities making his first 100 days in office. Now let's check the report.
The executive governor of Taraba State, Agbu Kefa, clocked his first 100 days in office since taking over power on the 29th May 2023. Interacting with members of the pen profession and his cabinet, the governor said in the last 100 days he has achieved a lot in the area of infrastructural development, adding that he has initiated key infrastructure projects across the state with a focus on improving the road networks. Governor Kefa explained that the journey started with the Dambaba Center Airport and that it will be further improved to an enviable standard in the country. As a commitment to revitalize the agricultural sector, the governor said support has been provided to farmers and the introduction of modern farming techniques, as he has also invested in education and skills development programs to empower the youths.
Over the next 4 years, we are committed to a comprehensive civil service reform agenda, which includes capacity building. We will invest in training and development programs for our civil servants to enhance their skills, professionalism, and adaptability to modern technology or challenges. Merit-based recruitment. We will promote a merit-based system for recruitment, ensuring that appointments are made based on qualifications and competence rather than political affiliation.
Speaking on his plan for the state, Agbu Kefa said transparency and accountability within the civil service will be promoted. In her remarks, the State Commissioner of Information and Reorientation, Zainab Usman, lauded the governor for the successes recorded so far.
In this first 100 days, His Excellency Governor Agbu Kefa has laid the foundation for a brighter Taraba. Among his notable milestones are the declaration of free basic education for primary and secondary schools and the 50% reduction in tuition fees and accommodation fees respectively for all tertiary institutions, the payment of pensions, the ongoing renovation of selected secondary schools in the state, and the prospective procurement of 850 modern tractors to support our farmers in boosting agriculture, among other initiatives.
Some members of the pen profession took turns to give their assessment of the government under Agbu Kefa.
First of all, I want to commend Your Excellency for a very wonderful outing in the last 100 days. Of the performance of His Excellency in the last 100 days, that is the areas that we have seen, we have laid very, very fundamental foundations that will lift this state to a very, very enviable height by the end of your 8 years in office.
I don't know if there is any monitoring and evaluation team to see to the good gestures you've made to the schools, the education sector especially the universities and other institutions you've declared, you reduce their fee to half. Some of the things we're hearing as journalists from these people is that, especially in the school fees, after reducing the school fees, hostel fees have been increased, especially almost doubling the hostel fees and other things like that.
Certain appointments, some feel that by now appointments into office or maybe special advisors, they feel that those appointments are coming in piecemeal. They feel by now you hit the ground running. But we understand that yesterday you did a committee, you appointed a committee to streamline ministries and agencies.
Linda Gwana, VOA TV News, Jalingo.
The Speaker House of Representatives Honorable Tajuddin Abbas said crude oil theft has drastically hampered the growth of Nigeria's oil production, adding that Nigeria loses between 5 to 30% of its crude oil production on a daily basis. Abbas, who was represented by the Chairman House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, Honorable Al-Hassan Dogua, stated this in Abuja during the inauguration of the House Ad Hoc Committee investigating crude oil theft and loss of revenue crude from oil and gas sector in Nigeria. He said data available through the yearly report of Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative shows that Nigeria's oil production declined from 2.51 million barrels per day in 2005 to 1.77 million barrels per day in 2020.
Crude oil theft has drastically hampered the growth of Nigeria's oil production. It is reported that Nigeria loses between 5% to 30% of its crude oil production on a daily basis, unfortunately. Data available through the yearly reports of Nigeria Executive Industries Transparency Initiative (NIETI) show that Nigeria's oil production declined from 2.51 million barrels per day in 2005 to 1.77 million barrels per day in 2020.
The chairman of the committee, Honorable Kabiru Usman, said the volume of losses occasioned by oil theft and its associated impact on the economy is completely unacceptable and cannot be tolerated by any government who sincerely loves its citizens. He therefore appealed to all the invited stakeholders to work together with the committee to put an end to oil theft.
It is an affront on government and its institutions, which must be tackled without further delay. It is in the light of this that the House constituted this committee and is determined to bring this ugly trend to an end. Otherwise, there may be no future for our remaining children who have not yet jumped to other countries in search of survival. I am therefore appealing to all the invited stakeholders to please work together with the committee for us to put an end to this embarrassing scenario.
It's time for a break, and when we come back, News Press continues. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. If you're just joining us, this is News Plus on Viewer Television. The National and State Assembly Election Petition Tribunal in Bayelsa State has set aside the election of the member representing Sagbama Ekeremo, a federal constituency, at the House of Representatives Fred Agbedi. The tribunal stated this in a judgment delivered in Yanagwa by Justice Sylvester Odili on the petition, which was filed by the candidate of All Progressive Congress, Mikel Olumo. The Independent National Electoral Commission had declared Agbedi the candidate of the People's Democratic Party winner of the election, having polled a total of 21,430 votes, while Olumo had a total of 8,899 votes in February 25th House of Assembly polls. The panel also said aside the certificate of return issued to PDP candidate, the tribunal also directed INEC to conduct a supplementary election within 90 days in some polling units and wards in Sagbama and Ekeremo LGAs, where the exercise was marred by violence and other irregularities. Ahead of the November 11 gubernatorial election in Bayelsa State, the Independent National Electoral Commission has promised that the biometric voter accreditation system will be used for the accreditation of voters and transmission of results. The new Resident Electoral Commission, Obo Afanga, made this known while stating the Commission's plans for the upcoming election at a press briefing held at Professor Mahmoud Yakubu Media Center in Yanagwa. Effiong also gave assurance that his team would do their best to conduct a credible election in line with the Constitution and the Electoral Act. In an effort to assist people in the rural areas of better their lives, on a non-governmental organization known as City Ministers Ministries in collaboration with Society for the Transfer of Appropriate Sustainable Technology and Expertise, says it constructs more than 200 wells and hospitals in some communities in Bauchi State. The administrator of City Ministry, Joe Haruna, made the declaration in Bauchi during a sensitization meeting of high-level state consultative stakeholders about a sustainable environmental project on water and improved cooking stove. The meeting comprises Bauchi and other states of the Federation. Our Bauchi State correspondent, Al Hassan, now completes the story.
We specialize in funding and developing and executing high-quality...
The program, which centers on clean cooking, forestry and safe water, draws various stakeholders from different local government areas in Bauchi State with the aim of sensitizing them about the importance of environmental protection, particularly on the areas of forest conservation. The implementing partners are city ministries in collaboration with Society for Transfer of Appropriate Sustainable Technology and Expertise Taste, whose common goal is to improve the living condition of people, particularly in the rural areas.
The program is all about making sure we assist humans in a better life in our rural communities. And this is what city ministries have been involved in, making sure we assist people in rural areas to better their life.
As the issue of potable drinking water has become a major source of concern to many people, particularly those in the rural communities, City Ministry says it has adopted some modalities toward addressing the menace.
This is really a problem for us, especially if people in the city are struggling with this. What do we say about people from rural areas? That becomes worst. And we've been looking forward to assisting people to have better drinking water. And that is why we have been involved in digging wells and then boreholes, drilling of boreholes. In Bauchi State, we have dug over 200 wells, Bauchi State alone. Especially in Mia, Siri Baba area. In fact, in Siri Baba, we built a clinic there and we handed it over to the community, and the community pleaded with the government, and the government sent staff to work in that clinic.
On the issue of forest conservation, which is what this high-level state consultative stakeholders meeting centers on, an improved cooking stove was introduced, which has the tendency to reduce deforestation.
We realize that Bauchi State have advanced in terms of briquette production, and briquettes are being produced to replace the use of charcoal by cutting down trees. And this stuff will need to use briquette. At the same time, you can use small wood in it in order to cook. So with this, bringing in the stuff with the briquette production in Bauchi as compared to other states, it will now create a match for the use of the stuff.
The improved cooking stove we are using here uses charcoal and even firewood. You can either use charcoal or firewood. But then, with the normal cooking stove we have in our houses, if you are using like 10 kilograms of charcoal to cook your food, with this improved cooking stove, you use like 5 kilograms, which means it has reduced the amount of charcoal you use. And if
Bauchi State Commissioner of Environment and Housing says the state government is fully committed to partner with any organization whose mission is geared towards bringing succor and solace to the people of the state. Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
The Nigerian police force has continued its march down against criminal elements disturbing the peace and tranquility of the state. The Commissioner of Police Kaduna Command, Musa Garba, disclosed that so far the command has recorded great success within the last few months upon resumption of office. Speaking to newsmen at the Kaduna Police Headquarters, the acting police public relation officer said, in the latest development, the command has arrested 13 kidnapped suspects as well as perpetrators of other gruesome crime, thus setting a milestone in successive crime-fighting operations.
The intelligence-led crime fighting and the control activities of the command successfully led the apprehension of 13 kidnapping suspects, during which 4 were neutralized in different occasions in the course of exchanging fire.
In line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Khali, all commands across the 36 states must intensify efforts to curb lawlessness in the country. The Theatre Command of Operation Hadinkai Major General Gold Chibuisi has appealed to defense correspondents and media outfits across the country to sustain the tempo of peace reporting through their reports and editorials to help put an end to insurgency in the Northeast. The appeal was part of the media play held with journalist M. Diggory. Now our correspondent Beatrice Kuritsi has more on this.
Over the years, the Nigerian Army has been conducting numerous operations in the Northeast with the aim of dislodging terrorism and restoring peace. Beyond its military approach, much support is needed from the media to help build peace and counter-insurgency operations, which is why strong collaboration and synergy with the media is paramount.
Permit me to state that the kinetic approach in any asymmetric war constitutes just 20%. Your efforts in passing the right information, sensitizing the civil populace in support of our operations, as well as the peace efforts, constitute the non-kinetic approach to the counter-insurgency operations.
The Nigerian Army said it is still willing and courageous to end the long years conflict and allow peace in the region, adding that it will not relent in its offensive operations should non-actors fail to drop arms.
It is clear that many of the terrorists too are tired of fighting. They are hungry and wish to abandon the negative life they have lived in the bush all through these years without hope of having a better with life. Yes, the military will not relent until the last member of the groups is put out of action and a peaceful, stable and prosperous atmosphere restored to the theater area of operation.
It is expected that journalists will reflect the essence of peace and nation building in its reportage as the conflict draws to a conclusion in the Northeast region. Beatrice Kuruti, Viewer Television News, Maiduguri.
And now on the international scene, U.S. President Joe Biden was welcomed warmly by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi ahead of the Group of 20 summit in New Delhi. But journalists were blocked from covering the key meeting. Media access to just bilateral encounters on the sidelines of major summits like the G20 is always tightly controlled, but it is yearly blocked entirely. The incident comes after protracted negotiations were needed before Indian officials agreed to Mr. Modi taking one question from U.S. reporters as a part of press briefing when he made a state visit to Washington in June. The Indian leader rarely, if ever, takes questions from foreign media. The White House pool of journalists accompanying Mr. Biden usually attends the start to a face-to-face meeting such as Friday's hearing, preliminary statement, taking a few photographs and asking some questions. German health professionals held a rally in Berlin demanding better pay and work conditions. Hundreds of medical and dental assistants gathered at the city landmark Baden-Württemberg gate to protest Health Minister Karl Lauber's reforms planned and the government austerity measures. Addressing the crowd, Stephanie Skirbath from the Medical Professionals Association, VMF, heavily criticized the government for neglecting the problem of more than 30,000 medical and dental assistants. Medical professionals are saying that they are working at low wages despite their invaluable contributions, and almost stress and health risks associated with their work. Protesters carried banners criticizing Lauberg, the government's health reform plans and austerity measures. Helicopter wings people from rooftops and military personnel use rubber boats to rescue families from the flood waters up to 3 meters deep in central Greece after a devastating rainstorm killed at least 10 people. From Daniel, which meteorologists said was the worst to hit the country since records began in 1930. Pummel, Greece for 3 days, leaving a trail of urine after a record summer heat wave that had touched off huge wildfires. Homes were swept away by torrents, bridges collapsed, roads were made impassable, power lines fell, and crops in the fertile Taslay plain were wiped out. Civil protection authorities confirmed a death toll of 10 with 4 people missing. It said 1,700 people have been rescued in total, and among them 296 airlifted away from their homes. Residents said the water was 3 meters, 9 feet deep in places. And that's all on News Plus. My name is Patience CD. Many thanks for watching. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.